Welcome back to our study of the way of the Bodhisattva. We are moving into chapter 2, the chapter on confession. And so we're going to start with first verse 1. And so this chapter is really excellent tool for people. Maybe if you don't have some practices already, or you're kind of new to all this, then you can just read this chapter as a practice, because it has the two important factors for training. One, the accumulation of merit, which it does through visualized offerings, and the purification of obscurations, which it does through confession. These are the two things we do in practice. This is the main deal. So if you want somewhere to start, this is just, you can just read this chapter and visualize what it says as you go along. And as you train in that more and more, it'll totally develop your capacity. It's a great foundational practice. And even for people who've been doing this for a long time, I love to do this as a practice. So let's dig in and check it out. Verse 1. To the Buddhas, those thus gone, and to the sacred Dharma, spotless and supremely rare, and to the Buddha's offspring, ocean of good qualities, that I might gain this precious attitude, I make a perfect offering. And you may be wondering, why is he making an offering before making the confession? Because normally we'd think we need to clean up and then go make the offering. And I think that what's going on here is he needs you to know that you don't lack anything. You can start right where you are. This is the amazing thing of these teachings. It's that all the faults, negative karma, the things you've got going on, those do not prohibit you from engaging in the profound Dharma. You can start right now. You can immediately go. It doesn't matter how much you own. It doesn't matter what your life is like. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. You can start by having something amazing to offer. This basic goodness in you that we can build. You have that already right now. That's the essence of the Buddha's teachings, right? That this goodness is inherent to all sentient beings. And so you can give right away. You don't lack anything. And so I think that's the point he's making here by taking this confession chapter and starting it off with the generosity aspect, which is the first paramita, right? Because in order to encounter the Dharma, to even begin to get anywhere near the Dharma, you already have to have practiced generosity. That means you've already done that. To encounter this video means that you have sufficient merit to encounter the Dharma and have any interest in it whatsoever. That already is an establishment of a massive quantity of merit. So no matter what your life apparently looks like, you should know that if you're interested in the Dharma, you already have a great deal to work with. This is incredible news. And you have something you can immediately apply by applying these teachings. So we're first going to acknowledge to the Buddhas, those thus gone, and to the sacred Dharma, spotless and supremely rare, and to the Buddha's offspring. Who's that? Everyone who's following along. Oceans of good qualities, and also all the virtues, right? That I might gain this precious attitude, I make a perfect offering. So who are we making the offering to? To the greatest conceivable thing, right? That's what a Buddha is. Totally purified, totally full of qualities. Those are the two things. That's what a Buddha is, right? A Buddha is not just like some superhero, right? Like a person with great qualities, right? And way beyond that. We talked a lot about that, how by aspiring for Buddhahood for all sentient beings, we're taking the biggest target we can take, which means the merit is that much greater. And so we're doing that exactly right now by making offerings to the greatest possibility, we have the most merit coming forward. And the sacred Dharma is all the teachings that lead to this, all the teachings on bodhicitta to this very text. We're making an offering to it. By making an offering to it, what is we really doing? We are connecting our heart to it. By making an offering, what we're really about, it's an exchange, right? It's a link. It's not about me having something and then giving it to somebody else and now they have it. That is called a very limited, ordinary kind of virtue. The kind of virtue we talked about, remember, free from the three spheres. The three spheres are a sense of the one doing the giving, the object being given, and the one receiving the object. We don't mess with that at all. We're giving in open space. And that means that we're working on this radical openness right away from the get-go. And because we're working with the Buddha, by making offerings to the Buddha, we are opening to opening. We are making an offering to opening. See, we're scared of opening. We don't like opening. We've trained ourselves to stay closed. And so what this practice does is allow us to tease ourselves open. And we do that by just first making an offering to something that's open before we're willing to open ourselves. We're not fully ready yet. So first we make an offering to openness by starting to say, hey, maybe that is a good thing. And the more we do that, we start to think, maybe that's something I want to do, right? You see the logic behind the Buddha Dharma is so incredible. There's a totally cohesive logic in all of this. It's not just some kind of worship of some deity or something like that, some belief that you just need to accept because somebody told you to, some authority, right? You can check this out and it all works logically and works in your experience. So you develop a relationship to this openness, the radical openness and radical love. And by making offerings to it, this gesture towards it, you start to open yourself because the experience is like a mirror, right? So what we do to the outside or what we focus on in the outside, we also see on the inside. And they know that the Buddhas know that you're not quite ready to see it on the inside. So first we got to relate to it on the outside. And by relating to it on the outside, we do in fact relate to it on the inside. And so that I might gain this precious attitude, I make this perfect offering. So why are we making offerings? To gain bodhicitta. So bodhicitta, this awakened heart mind, desire to liberate all sentient beings from suffering and attain perfect Buddhahood, but also just radical openness, right? So that's the intention behind the offering. We're not making an offering because the Buddhas need our stuff. We're making an offering so that we will have a relationship to and eventually actualize bodhicitta. Verse 2, I offer every kind of fruit and flower, every kind of healing draught, and all the precious gems the world contains with all the pure waters of refreshment. Do you think you need to own this stuff to offer it? No, this is an imagination exercise, right? That's the amazing thing. Shantideva didn't own anything. He was a monk, so he probably owned his bowl and his robes. That's it, right? So we are working with the imagination. And in fact, in the commentary, Kempo says that it's better to make offerings that are visualized because we don't have stinginess around them. We're willing to give, which means it's a more open situation, right? So we're relating in an open way, giving in an open way. And by doing this, we are setting ourselves up to begin to relate to openness and be willing to open ourselves. And so we think of every fruit and flower. We think of the gardens in Victoria or wherever you've been and seen amazing gardens, or the tropical forests just full of fruit, all the healing water coming out of springs, everything you can think of, beautiful sceneries, sunsets, everything in the world that no one possesses, despite what capitalism says. And you offer that to the Buddhas, right? And with our imagination. And you don't need to hold it. You don't have to have this concentration and perfectly see everything. Just a gesture and a flash is all it takes. He says this, right? All you need to do is briefly touch in to this giving because you're touching the opening. And that's all that really matters. So we'll stop here after verse 2. I hope you're starting to get excited about this. You can go ahead and read the rest of this chapter. Try it as a practice. Just sit there and read it and see what happens. See how it feels in you. Mess around with it. See if you can get behind what they're doing. Why are we doing these generosity practices? Why are we doing confession? See if you can see the mechanics behind it, because there are mechanics behind it, and we'll get more and more into that. But I hope you're enjoying this. If you do like it, please like, share, subscribe. All those things helps the channel. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.